day. For class, you're going to need a small Pilates ball. If you have one, great. Otherwise, you can do it with a block or with nothing. You'll need 2 yoga blocks and a strap. I kind of like a little stretchy resistance long band, but if you have a regular yoga strap, that works as well. But I actually kind of like this better than the solid hard strap that doesn't give at all. Without further ado, let's get started on hands and knees. From hands and knees, we're going to sit back to child's pose and then come back to hands and knees. So sitting the hips back towards the heels as far as you can go. And then coming back up. We're trying to use a little bit of strength here. Controlling that. So you're using the strength of your legs and your hips and your core. The further you sit back, your knees are working. And then you're coming back up. Try to go slow and steady. Feeling the legs do some work. Shoulders are getting a stretch. Your spine stays straight. And one more time, sitting the hips down. And then coming back up to tabletop position. If you have bad wrist, you can bring yourself down onto your forearms. Otherwise, stay up on your hands. You're going to straighten your right leg behind you. Keep the ball of the foot on the floor. We're going to gently press back and then come back to center. You want to feel the toes are curled under, so you're stretching the toe joints. You're also stretching the calf and the Achilles tendon. You're also stretching the bottom of the foot. We're just shifting the weight forward and back at your pace. The other thing that's happening here, besides you stretching your right leg and foot, is you're also building strength in your left hip. Notice how that feels. Shifting very small back and very small forward. Your belly is slightly pulled in. We're going to work a little bit of a sweat up before we start to really relax and let it go. And change. Bring your right leg down underneath your hip. And then extend your left leg, curling the toes under, and a gentle shift forward and backwards. Keeping your spine straight so your belly is engaged. And then child's pose. So your knees can be as far apart as comfortable. You're going to allow your hips to settle down towards your heels where you can make them relaxed and easy. Now, if it's too much on your knees, you can always keep your hips up high and rest your head. We're looking to relax the neck, relax the shoulders, getting a stretch through the hips as well as into your lower back. Close your eyes and hear yourself breathe in and out through your nose. Slowing everything down, calming everything down. Make your way back to hands and knees for cat and cow. We're going to start actually with the cat today. So we're going to round the spine and pull the belly button in and look for your belly button or your legs. Holding this position, feeling the stretch through the spine, the back of the neck. And then transitioning into your cow, you're going to start by taking your tailbone up towards the ceiling, creating a back bend. You'll begin to look forward, maybe at the top of your mat or maybe even forward to the wall. Holding this, relax your belly. Arms are straight. and you're resting. Starting at the tailbone, we're going to tuck under, pull the belly button in, rounding the spine, moving into your cat pose. Chin comes towards your chest. And then tailbone towards the ceiling as you move to cow. We're going to hold this back bend here and then let the head slowly come down. Let it hang best you can, feeling a stretch in the back of the neck. Bring the head back up, looking forward, and then slowly lower again. Building strength in the back of the neck, and then looking forward again. Nice slow movements. One more time, slowly lower the head. And then looking back up. Bring your knees together and let your hips come down towards your heels for child's pose in a more narrow stance. Your forehead will rest onto the mat. If it cannot touch, you can always place your arms underneath your head or grab one of your blocks to support your forehead. Downward facing dog. Come through your hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Lift your hips up. You're trying to push your hips up towards the ceiling and the wall behind you. Your knees are somewhat bent, so you're creating a straight line from your wrists through your spine to your tailbone. Slowly transition back to child's pose. Take your time. Feel the strength it takes. Come down to the knees. Sit the hips back towards the heels. Straighten your arms and reach them as if you're getting pulled towards the top of your mat. See if you can continue to pull your hips towards your heels as if you're getting pulled in opposite directions. Coming back through center, downward facing dog. Walk your feet a little closer, about 3 inches, so you can straighten your legs and lift your heels up high, creating a much steeper V shape. You're going to slowly come down to your knees, child's pose with your knees together. Lift your head, and we're going to move our hands and our head to the right side. From here, you're going to straighten the left arm, reaching onto the wood floor. I like to put my fingertips only on the floor. I'm going to gently pull my body weight away towards the left side, feeling a deep stretch through the side body, through the ribs, maybe around the shoulder, lower back. And change. Lift your head, walk your hands now all the way over to the left side. Then straighten your right arm, reach it, put the fingertips onto the floor, and then gently allow yourself to hinge or hang to the right, leaning to the right, weight that way, and you're gripping, holding on with your fingertips, deepening that stretch. Coming back to center. Come on to your belly. You're gonna prop yourself up onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. If this is a little much, you can always widen your legs. Widening the legs takes some of the pressure out of the lower back. You're gonna gently press into the arms to lift your head up as high as you can go. And then you're gonna slowly lower your head towards the mat, letting it hang, feeling a stretch. Once again, lifting the head and lower. Two more times, lifting the head and lower. You should feel strong arms, strong shoulders supporting this movement. Feel a little bit of muscle work happening right there at your shoulders, shoulder blades, upper back. Head comes back down. Lift your head back up. Bring your fingers to touch. Open up your elbows so you can come all the way down onto your stomach. Bring your feet together. Toes are going to touch. Heels are going to fall open. Bring your hands back by your sides with the palms up. You're going to turn your head to the right and allow your left cheek or ear to rest down on the mat, getting a stretch through the neck. Begin to relax your body completely. And slowly lift your head, turn your head opposite way to the left. Right ear, right cheek will rest. Bring your head back forward. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders for child's pose. Press yourself up and allow yourself to sit back down. Coming on to hands and knees. You're going to turn so you face the long edge of your mat. Your hands might need to be on the wood floor in order for your knees to stay on. I'm going to do the mirror image of you. So I'm going to call out the right leg and I'm going to be moving my left. So you're going to bring your right leg out to the side. Put the whole foot down on the floor. You're going to come down onto your forearms, onto the mat. Place those elbows right on the edge of your mat. And then you're going to lift your hip up and lower the hip down. If this is too much, you can always come back onto your hands and do the same hip motion, lifting up and down. I'm taking my hip up towards the ceiling, and then I'm lowering it back to the mat. Lifting and lowering. Building strength in your left hip joint. You should be doing a lot of work. At the same time, getting a stretch of the inner thigh of your right leg. Slow and control. This may be a little uncomfortable. One more time. And then release. Press yourself back up onto your hands so that you can change your legs. Right leg comes down. Left leg comes out to the side, foot down onto the floor. You're going to try to lift your hip up, keeping your legs straight, left leg straight, and then lower the hip back down. To make it a little more challenging or deeper, you're going to come down onto the forearms, trying to get the inner thigh towards the mat. And then you're going to lift the hips up, taking some of the pressure off that inner thigh. But what we're working is your right hip joint, trying to make this slow and controlled. Building the strength and the motion. Your belly button is also a little engaged by pulling it in ever so slightly. You may also feel the back of your neck working. And slowly releasing, coming back onto your hands if you lowered down. Walk your hands back to the top of your mat and have a seat. Sweep the legs around to the front. And we're going to lower down onto the back. So support yourself as you roll down. Knees are going to be bent, feet on the floor. And position, make sure your head is on your mat. Bring the soles of the feet together. And we're going to allow the knees to slowly open up into butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. However, I want you to place your hands onto your hip pelvis bones right on top of your stomach here. We're going to do this with slow and control. So slowly opening the legs. Soles of the feet will come together. Going to your depth. And then slowly bring them back together. The feet will come back flat onto the floor and knees will touch. Let's go again. Slowly opening. When you get to a certain point, you'll need to bring the soles of the feet together. Continue with the same pace, lowering the legs as far as you can without pressure. And then slowly bringing them back in. Building strength and mobility through your adducting muscles. Also your lower pelvis area. A little squeeze at the top. Opening again, nice and slow. Control. And then relax. Allow the soles of the feet to touch and stay relaxed. Arms, you're going to take straight up towards the ceiling and interlace your fingers. You're going to reach the arms up over your head towards your ears. Maybe the arms will touch down to the floor. Maybe they won't. That's okay. Just where it stops is where I want you to go. See where you can relax. Release. Arms will come back up. You're going to place the hands onto the legs on the outside of them. That way you can assist to draw the legs back in together, using the strength of your legs and your hands to help pull in. Draw your right knee into your chest and hold onto your hamstring right underneath your knee. You're going to gently compress and pull that thigh into the abs. Be sure your spine stays straight. So if your neck moves during that, reposition so the back of your head is flat. You're going to slowly straighten out the left leg on the mat and relax that leg. You still have a gentle pull with the right, compressing into the abdomen. Start to relax that leg as well, using now only arm strength. Feel everything in your body relax except for your hands and arms that's holding your leg. Feel yourself breathe. Maybe notice the sensations that start to develop in that right hip as we restrict blood flow. Breathe. Eyes can be closed. We're here for another 10 seconds. And slowly release your right leg and straighten it down next to your left. Just lie flat. Relax the body. And notice the sensations in that right leg. The blood is now rushing through the hip joint and down through the leg into the knee, into the foot. Squeeze gently your tushy, tightening up the glutes. A gentle squeeze, maybe about 50%, 60% squeeze. And relax. Going again, gentle squeeze of the glute. And relax. One more time, gentle squeeze. And relax. Using your core strength, you're going to bend both knees to place your feet back up onto the mat. We're going to switch sides. So you're going to pull your left knee in. You're going to hold on to the hamstring. You're going to gently pull it in to compress your abdomen. Then slowly straighten the right leg out onto the floor and relax. Pull a little stronger with your arms. And then see if you can start letting go of the muscles in the legs, in the hips, in the abdomen. In your face, relax your jaw. Focus on feeling your breath. Noticing the sensations. This is also very good for your digestive health. We started with the ascending colon. And now we're working on the descending colon. Feel yourself breathe. Continue steady breathing. Ten more seconds. And slowly release. Extending your left leg straight onto the mat. Relax completely. Bring your arms open to a T and relax. Allow the palms to fall upward. And notice the sensations, maybe in your fingers, from the restriction of the blood flow, of the compression and holding the leg. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Squeeze your tush and release. Squeeze your tush and release. One more time, squeeze the tush and release. You're going to draw your right knee into your chest. You're going to hold on now onto the shin area. We're going to draw the knee towards the center or towards the left side of the body. But I'm also trying to pull the knee up towards the left shoulder, looking for a stretch down the outer right leg and maybe a little bit into the glute. Some also feel it in the hip crease. This is where you can stay, but we're also going to move this a little further into a twist. So your right arm is going to come out to the side to help lift your hip up and rolling over onto the left side for a spinal twist to your level. I always like a little bit of a core engagement in this, so I feel like I'm pulling my belly button in about 20 degrees or 20%, 20 degrees, 20%. And slowly returning back to center. And then extend your right leg onto the mat. We're going to switch to the other side, drawing your left knee in, hold on to the shin. Then we're going to bring the leg gently across the center till you feel a little stretch at the side of the leg, maybe in the hip. And then moving a little further, you're going to release the left hand out to the side. And then slowly moving a little bit more, use some core strength here to move as far into a spinal twist that works for you. Then coming back to center, pull both knees into happy baby. Grabbing a hold of the outside edge of your feet, knees are going to be bent. Windshield wipers, we're going to place the feet down onto the mat, but wide, maybe even on the wood floor. We're going to roll the knees to the right. The left knee should feel like it is moving towards the foot of the mat. You're looking for a stretch in the left front thigh, maybe even up into the front of the hip pelvis area. To deepen the stretch, you can take the arms up over your head in any position that works for you. You can bring your hands back down to your body to assist as we switch to the other side. You can guide the legs through center, and then the left knee is rolling out to the left side, and your right knee trying to track it towards the foot of the mat, looking for a stretch in the thigh. Maybe even in the hip, maybe you'll feel it near your knees. The arms will go where you like them for extra stretch. Placing the hands back down onto your body so you can draw the knees back through center, heel toe your feet in, Bring your knees to your chest. Wrap both arms over the tops of the shins. Draw your forehead towards your knees so you can tighten it up. See if you can hold onto opposite elbows. Feet need to be side by side, not crossed. Slowly lower your head back down. And then try to relax the body except for your fingers. Your fingers are just holding on. Everything else is relaxing, getting the spine as flat as possible. And release your feet down to the mat. You're going to move yourself over to the left side of your mat. And you're going to roll over onto your right side into a little fetal position. So knees are going to be tucked in. And you're going to support your head with your right arm coming off the spine. We're going to do a front thigh stretch. So here's where that little strap could come into play, but you could also do it without the strap whatsoever. You're going to grab a hold of your shin near your ankle with your left hand, and you're going to gently kick back, creating a little back bend, looking for a front thigh stretch. Now, if you have difficulty getting to the furthest where you need to go, that's where you can take your strap, you're going to wrap it around your ankle and hold on. It just creates a little bit more length for you to get further back. And then release the leg, bring it back in the center. From here, the top leg, which is your left, you're going to straighten it, kicking it towards your face. And you're going to grab your toe with your right hand. Your foot is on the floor. So now I'm trying to straighten out that left leg. Bring the back of the head to the mat, opening up to a spinal twist. Continue to hold onto your foot if possible. If you cannot hold onto your toe or foot, you can always let it go or hold maybe onto the calf instead. Gently turn your head a little more to the left, getting a stretch through your neck. Just go to where you feel a stopping point. Breathe. And slowly returning back to your side, let go of your leg. We're going to roll back onto the back. Scoot yourself now all the way over to your right side. Right side of the mat, that way you've got lots of mat to lie on. Draw your knees in and roll all the way onto your left side. Support your head with your left arm. Going to grab a hold of your ankle and kick back. Here's where you can use your strap, front thigh stretch. The other thing that's happening here is you're getting a shoulder stretch. And then slowly release. Bring your knees back together. Your top leg, your right leg, you're going to straighten out best you can and hold onto your toe with your left hand. And then bring the back of the head to the mat and open the arms to your level of twist. Another option is to use a block underneath your shoulder. So you can place it underneath your shoulder or your arm to give yourself a little bit of support if you can't quite get your shoulders both down. And then begin to turn your head to the right. Breathe. And then slowly turning all the way back onto your left side, release your foot. Make your way onto your belly. Prop yourself onto your forearms again for your Sphinx pose. You're going to flex your feet, turning the toes under, stretching the bottoms of the feet. The muscles that should be working here are mostly your arms and your shoulders, pushing down to create a long neck. Everything else is fairly relaxed. You're going to bend your right knee and then lower it down. And then bend the left knee and lower it down. Now you're going to bend your right knee and you're going to reach back with your right hand, grab a hold of your foot, twist. Once you have a hold of your foot, you're going to walk your fingers down to your shin and flex your foot. From here, you're going to lower your head down to the mat. See if you can also parallel the shoulders to the mat. And slowly release. I like to lift the head up a little bit and release the foot down. And then prop yourself back up onto your forearms if you fell all the way down to the floor. All right, other side. Gonna bend the left knee. Gonna reach back, twisting back, turning back. Grab a hold of the foot. Walk the fingers down to your ankle bone, shin area so you can flex the foot again. Once you get there, see if you can bring your head down and maybe your shoulders will come down. The arm is straight. And release. You're gonna go wide with your legs. You're gonna do the deepest cobra pose you can do. So maybe it's just a little bit lifting, but maybe, just maybe you can press into the arms, straightening them up, lifting as high as you can, keeping your pelvis on the floor. Relax your legs and your tushy and your belly. And then slowly lower back down. Bring your legs together. We're gonna do a child's pose, but keep your knees touching best you can. You're gonna pull the elbows as close to your knees as possible. You're gonna round the spine, pull the belly button in, bring your forehead or your nose close to your knees. And release. We're gonna make our way to seated in the 90-90 position. However, we are gonna face not the long edge like we normally do. We're gonna face the short edge. So facing front, you're gonna bring your right leg forward 90 degrees and your back leg straight out to the side, creating a 90-degree angle. If I were to use my mat to help me see the parallels here, I'm lining up the outside edge or the edge of my right leg with the outside edge of my mat, and then I'm trying to line up the shin bone with the top of my mat. And then I'm taking my knee straight out to the side and trying to line my shin bone up with the side edge of my mat. From here, we're going to forward fold. So walking the hands forward onto the mat, come down onto the forearms best you can. Maybe you stop short. This would be another place where you can use your blocks to assist. You can put both blocks underneath the arms so that you don't go as far in. Some also like to use the block underneath the forehead. This is another option. And breathe. And slowly make your way back up. Nice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tuck the foot in just a little bit and we're going to extend this leg behind you. So we're going to try to straighten it out, turn the kneecap down, getting into now more of a pigeon. Starting upright best you can, creating that back bend. If you need to bend your back knee, that's okay. I'd rather your hip and your butt be on the ground still than the leg straight and turned under and this hip coming up off the floor. I want this to be as relaxing as possible. Slowly come down onto the forearms. Once again, you can use your block however you need to support your head or your body. We want to relax. Make it as comfortable as you can, although you'll feel a deep stretch in that hip. Breathe. And slowly make your way back up. You're going to swing your left leg around. So bend the knees, swing it around all the way back to the front. Both legs go straight out. Sitting up tall, staff pose, forward fold, hamstring stretch. Just a quick release for the back of the legs and the lower back. And then slowly coming back up, 90-90 on the left. So swinging the right leg behind you, lining yourself up, creating that 90-90, sitting up tall to begin, and then slowly hinging forward, coming down as far as you can go so you can relax. Placing the block if needed. Breathe in, breathe out. Use that breath in the area that you feel the sensation the most. And then slowly lifting your head. You're going to move into that fuller pigeon. You're going to bend the knee, top knee in a little bit to make that easier so that you can straighten the back leg, turn the knee under, sitting into a back bend to start. And then slowly making your way down. Support your head. Breathe. And slowly lift your head up. Walk your hands backwards. You're going to bring your right leg back around in front. Straighten the legs. This time flexing the toes. See if you can touch the toes. Straighten the legs. Tighten the thigh muscles here on top by your knees. And breathe. Now, if you can't touch your toes, that's okay. Hands to the shin. Just flex your toes up and back. Really get the stretch in the bottoms of the feet. Tighten these thigh muscles. These have to be turned on in order to release and let go of the back muscles. Just like when you do a bicep curl, this one is working, but your back muscle, your tricep is relaxing. You cannot do the curl if they're both working. Maybe feel those toes as you gently pull them back. You might feel connective tissue release. That's your fascia. And then slowly come up. You can use your hands next to your sides. You're going to bend the knees, Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Open the knees and forward over. Going to your level. Some might be able to get their forearms down on the ground. And slowly release. You're going to lie down onto your back for 2 deep breaths. So make yourself comfortable, whether you like your knees bent or the legs straight, or in that Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together and knees are open. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh out any stress you're carrying. Exhale. One more time, deep breath in and let it all exhale out. Putting a smile on your face because you have completed another class. Stretch and recover. Taking your time, making your way back up to seated. No hurries, no worries.